Um, Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time here for today, and thank you for making me a part of this WiSE program. It's such a great program that for women as well, and while you're studying as well. So it's a great. I appreciate your time. So basically, this will just be quite a simple and informal meeting. So by all means, if you have any questions, just let me know or put it in the chat. That's not a problem. So my name is Soraya. I'm a civil engineer by trade. I have basically have had about 12 years experience in both the public and private sector. I've worked all over Sydney and basically both the private and public sector of local government and Lend Lease and CLM, or maybe known as Zinfra. So basically, I started like I've always loved the construction industry, and I've always thought that a degree of engineering or civil engineering would be most appropriate for me, and that has taken me on my journey to be to where I am now. So um, I always loved construction, but I never knew what engineering was when I was at my preference stages for HSC and uni. So that was you know, like I thought architecture or anything like that, but I couldn't draw. So I love construction. I love the material. I love the technology. I love plant and equipment. I think it's an industry that is ever so much evolving and so much to learn and so much to give back. It's a industry that is fully withstanding and such a strong industry to be a part of. And it's such a great privilege to be an engineer, especially a female engineer in Sydney. So I went to the University of Western Sydney. I studied at Kingswood campus. I almost sub-majored into construction. So I was at the Narimba campus as well in Sydney. So I was born and bred in Western Sydney. I went to school, I went to uni, and I also got my first engineering job in Western Sydney. So it's a great university to be a part of. Um, but whilst at university, I studied full time, and I also did work experience, or you should say, for local government. I did it for Blacktown Council. So I did that for about a year and a half, and that gave me a bit of experience in terms of, um, exposure to like the office, computer software, being on site, seeing how a local government or an office works in terms of that type of engineering. So I got to learn a lot out of uh, like working for free. Basically, I just wanted to get as much experience as I could get. So I did whatever I could, and I you just go through advertisements of newspapers and you just look for it. So there's opportunities out there, and just grab it while you can and get as much experience while you're studying. I believe that is quite vital. Get as much on-site experience, because that will help you when you graduate in the end, and that's what I found as well. I basically, moving forward, I'm currently an engineer at Mossman Council. I have been there for 7 years now, and I deal with restorations and project management. So I restorations is a specialized area. It deals with utilities such as like water, power, gas, and those services and telecommunications. So it is a specialized part of engineering, but it's a great exposure to show that, especially with our ever evolving technology, our assets need to be upgraded. And we've had the NBN rollout as well, so I was involved with that. And there's a lot of Ausgrid transmission works for upgrading of power. So I have, this is actually the longest place I've worked for, going on 7 years. And the reason why I do love it is not only because I get to do engineering, it's the lifestyle, it's the people, it's the development. You're still learning, you're still exposed to new technologies, and you're able to deliver. So it's quite important to also find a place where you feel most comfortable, and you're able to still learn. I think that is so important. If you're not learning, you're not growing. So if you find somewhere that is a workplace that can, push you further and um, just make you grow as a person, both professionally and personally, I think that's a massive fit and a great fit for your life. So with Mossman Council, we are actually the second smallest council in Sydney, but there is a lot going on. There's a lot of development, a lot of construction, a lot of upgrading of works. So it's very much on the go and very much as busy as like a larger council such as Sydney City, for example, or Parramatta Council. So as and also I love local government because you are dealing with front face customers, residents, etc. And with Mossman Council, again, they were able to still help me learn and train and be better professionally and personally. So they offer different training programs, etc. And we are more than happy to do it. And I love doing those programs. And I was recently in a mentoring program, and that was for about 9 months. And so I had a director as a mentor, and she basically was able to, just grow you, bit of self-reflection, and see how you reevaluate what your goals are moving forward. So it's a great opportunity to put forward ideas. So if you have ideas and you're open to opportunity and open to innovation, it's great to be in a great workplace that reflects that and nurtures that. So I was able to do a project with them and put forward to them, and we're now getting funding for that project to be delivered. So it's an innovative project, new materials, new technology. So that is such a great thing to still be able to still be interested, but still be impressed of what you can deliver after so many years in the industry. It's not the same. It's always different. So does anyone have any questions or anything like that at the moment, or we're okay? Yeah. So I did the university course, civil engineering. It had to be done. You need to have a degree in civil engineering to be on site and to be qualified, etc. You need to be recognised by the Engineers of Australia, and also to be able to work in Australia, and it allows you to work overseas as well. So that's a great thing to have. So like I said, I started at Blacktown Council as a work experience. So I did that for a year and a bit. I used to go on site on Saturday mornings when they did resheeting. So I got to see all that material and all that work done. So it was great exposure from the second year of uni. So I knew nothing. So second year of uni was, I got to experience and get that on my CV. So, and then because I got that work experience, I was able to get a traineeship with Penrith Council as a training engineer. So that was a massive opportunity and a massive step, because I was able to secure a job whilst being an undergraduate engineer, and that gave me more responsibility, and it opened up a lot more opportunity for me to learn and be able to manage your time and study whilst working. So I was quite fortunate in the fact that Penrith Council was close to Kingswood Council, and that allowed you to go to uni and study and do practicals, etc. So it was quite interesting and very much a great experience to be able to be given engineering projects to run and be exposed to different projects they delivered at such a different council. So once I I was still a trainee engineer, but I also got with all that experience, I was also able to do a fill-in position, a maternity leave position. So I was actually an engineer as an undergraduate engineer. So I had a lot of responsibility, and that was a proud moment, because I get that during your study, you want to work, you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to keep doing. It's very much so you have to stick it out. It's so hard. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you need to finish the degree in order to be able to be qualified and to be able to be recognized and to deliver. So that's quite important. But that was a great experience being at Penrith Council. And once I graduated, about 24 years old, I was able to get a senior position at the Hills Council. So that was another proud moment, because all that hard work during university and studying and working allowed me to, like, the stepping stones to grow as an engineer. So that was such a great experience as well. It was the first full-time position where I was able to deliver and basically have a secure job and as an engineer itself, and run it how I want to run it. So you just got to manage it, and it's a great opportunity while you're studying. Just get as much experience. I had 2 jobs, working full-time, studying full-time. So that was really hard. I used to, go to work at 7, finish at 4, and go study for the rest of the night. So it's a lot of sacrifice and discipline. But I think if you start that from the beginning, you'll be able to deliver that as an engineer professionally. So that's a great thing. Moving forward, I know that there's a stigma with local government or state government that you may, you don't get the engineering experience that you want to get. But I went against the grain. I got a lot of experience with local government. But at the same time, I wanted to go into the private industry. I needed to experience that. That's just how I am. I wanted to know what it was to be a project engineer working for one of the tier 1 companies, because that's what we think about when we're at uni. Like with other engineers, we wanted to basically, want to work for the tier 1 companies, the big companies, deliver the multi-million-dollar jobs. So I worked for Zimfra, which was CLM back then, and they're utility companies. So they deliver power, which I was involved with. So we got to put cable into the ground. So running big projects and transmission projects in Balgowlah and also in the Northern Beaches as well. So I was able to be involved in that, and that was a great experience. And then I worked for Lendlease. So that was a massive experience for me, and I loved it. I was a contractor for Optus and TPG, and so we delivered the rollout of TPG from the city, from the middle of the city. So we were digging up Liverpool Street, Kent Street in the middle of the night and putting pit and pipe in the ground. So it's very different, but at the same time, a great experience. So just use your degree as much as you can, get as much experience as you can, because you learn and you grow and you continue to do so. Then I'm obviously now at Mossman Council, but that's my choice. I love engineering and construction. Again, like I said, it's basically where you can learn and grow and continue to grow. That's the most important thing. And with finding a department that allows you to do that, or a workplace that allows you to do that, is vital. It's vital to be able to be happy at the end of the day. It's not about just the money, but get your experience, but be happy at the same time. So I have a great lifestyle. Mossman Council's in the North Shore, so I'm close to the beach. I live close to work. And it fits my lifestyle perfectly. So I'm very happy with working with local government, and I encourage it because you get a lot of experience, and there's so much within local government that you can explore as well. So it's very, very much so a great place to work in Mossman. Um, so with Mosman Council, they previously have had a lot of undergraduates come and do work experience. Um, and that's a great opportunity. So I would stress that you call up, just go, just, I think if you don't ask, you don't get. It's as simple as that. If you're looking for experience, just go out looking for it. There's no harm in asking because the industry is huge. It's huge. There's so many projects happening, so much development. It's an opportunity. Like, why not? Like, go for it. You got an engineering degree. You know, you just don't know what opportunity will fall and what direction you'll go in. But I think you have to love the industry. You have to love um, you know, construction, being on site, being in the office, managing people, dealing with clients. There's a whole lot of, and it's a holistic overview of what engineering is. It's a breakdown of different civil engineering. You can be site foreman, site supervisor, estimator. So there's different branches of engineering, but it's just basically what go after what you want, basically. So you have a degree in your hand. That is basically the key to allowing you to get so much more experience. So I feel like now with my experience, it has helped me throughout these years to be able to now give back. I I I think networking. I networked so much during my undergraduate um, days because I knew no one. I don't know anyone in the industry because you're still studying, but just network. I mean, you have the WiSE program now, which is great. Um, we have Engineers Australia. You have the Institute of Public Works Australasia. So there's different types of organisations that will expose you. Like, we'll have forums about different projects or exposure, and I think just grab it, because I think undergraduates get a bit of leeway in terms of being exposed to construction sites. So in my first year of uni, my first construction site was actually the M7 motorway. It was getting built. So Engineers Australia actually had a tour that will allow you and take you on site. So they provided all the equipment, material, everything like that, and they took you on the construction site. So that's it's an experience that you won't ever get. So I think that's quite important to do, just network and get as much experience. And I think other than your degree, you should be able to, or you should be looking at exposing yourself to more options of study, or you should always be learning, and it doesn't have to necessarily be construction. It can be like dealing with people, communication, like all those things. Again, it's a holistic overview of delivering and working. So it's important. So I and now on the board of Australian Local Government Women's Association. So I advocate for women in construction as well. I have been for the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, but originally I couldn't find an organisation that would fit me. So it has to be something that you're comfortable with and that would give back. And that's what I really wanted in the end. I won a scholarship to do further studies, and I chose to use that scholarship to study training and assessment. So I'm a teacher for TAFE, teaching engineering students, and not only students, you've got West Connects guys coming in, or tunnelers, I should say, coming in to do just studying a unit, engineering units. So that's quite interesting. So it's basically still engineering, but you're still broadening your exposure to learning and growing as professionally and personally. So it's very, very interesting. Another piece of advice I would suggest is have a mentor. Mentors are so vital throughout your professional career. It's you need to have that person that you can bounce ideas off, talk to, and it's very important. Mentors guide you through your life because you're still growing, so you need that mentor by you. So I was lucky enough to have mentors throughout my career, and that has helped significantly in me growing, both personally and professionally. um and listen, like, have fun, enjoy it, like, you love what you do, and it works out well in the end, because it's not as stressful as just fighting something. So enjoy it. Like, construction's great, engineering's great, but it takes I guess initially it takes a lot of discipline and sacrifice as well to move forward. But if you network, just make sure that you network and be in contact and stay in contact. And I think that's a great thing to do, to be honest with you. So um, is there any other questions or that you want to ask at all, or any queries?
Okay. I guess we're having Q&A in the end.
Yep.
If there was anything else that you wanted to
um
add,
some of the
expand
basic.
on,
Yeah.
um, you can do that, and we can do Q&A at the end, or we can do Q&A now if you feel like it's the
Yeah,
right
happy to
time.
do Q&A now. I think that'll break the session up a little bit. If they have questions, by all means.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I have a question for you. Well, by the way, thank you so much. That was very insightful. Amazing. My question is, there's a stigma surrounding engineering that it's male dominated, it's hard to get in the field. In uni, the majority of your class, are males. What advice do you give to our students? What's something that you'd like to say to them? I guess because, you've achieved so much, you've worked for various companies, you've done a lot of roles. What is something that you say to them that says, no, you can do this? That even though there's this stigma, you're still very capable of, doing whatever you want and, achieving your goals and, being in the industry.
That's a great question, and something that I thought a lot about during uni and studying. So don't get me wrong, it's not all pretty and easy and everything. If anything, it was, and I did feel that. I felt that it was quite difficult for me, especially being a female. That was always in the back of my mind. Um, but just be mindful. I started with, I was among one of five females when I started year one. Um, I was the last one standing when I graduated. So you have to hang in there. I think if you know this is what you want to do, just do it. Why I'm always been against the grain anyway. So I think it's quite important that, yes, there's always going to be a stigma, not just with females, but just in life itself. So you need to know deep down, if this is what you really want to do, then do it. You have to probably, I had it I worked twice as hard. Um, but like I said, I did work twice as hard because I went out looking for experience. I went out doing it. I had other friends that were male, that didn't do that. They waited till the end. So I graduated in um, an era of global financial crisis. So that was an issue in terms of graduates looking for work. They couldn't find work because they didn't have any experience. So you need to have that experience, be strong. I think you just need to push it out of your mind. It will be there and people will tell you, but it is a male dominated industry, but they're people. It shouldn't be, don't think of it as male and female. Just think of it like, if you've studied, you've worked so hard to even just get where you are now, then just keep learning. Knowledge is power. You need to basically push yourself forward. I think that's the only way to do it. You have to have that in your core to be able to know, this is what I want to do. Stigma or no stigma, this is how I'm going to progress. It's really important to know deep down that yeah, you can't have stigma deviating what you want to do to the core.
Fantastic. I love that so much. Thank you. We have Talisa Smith. I know you asked something in the chat box. I'll actually let you unmute yourself and ask Soraya this question right away because I'm not really sure what the question is, if that's okay. Talisa, if you're still there.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself. No, I was just asking if you have any involvement with the public health unit when it comes to water infrastructure. Like I'm coming from like regional New South Wales, where we've got some engineers here who've kind of delegated us the task of inspecting water carter trucks.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if you've had any involvement with the public health unit or anything you can kind of give me some advice on that at all.
Unfortunately, because I've only worked within Sydney, it's still different to regional areas. Regional areas are bigger councils, but also they have more involvement in their assets, whereas Sydney Water is basically the one that manages the water assets here. But we do have a stormwater engineer that we look after our local stormwater, but at the same time, there's a lot of private and public sector in Sydney Water. So unfortunately, I don't know too much about the public health sector, unfortunately. Like I said, I'm more of a civil engineer with civil works and delivering with concrete and asphalt, etc. But with the regionals, they are completely, I believe they would be quite different, unfortunately. So sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Thanks for having a chat anyway. It's been great.
Thank you.
Anybody has any other question, feel free to unmute yourself, ask it, or place it in the chat box.
Hi, can I say something?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Soraya, for inspiring us. I just want, I still don't have a local experience here in Australia. I'm about to soon. And I just wanted to ask, when you were starting your career in the industry, what was your greatest challenge you faced and how did you overcome it? How did we deal with it?
Like in terms of obtaining work?
No, when you were in the industry already, like what was the challenges?
Okay.
Maybe?
Yeah. So when I first started working at Penrith Council, I think the greatest challenge was trying to adapt and learn, basically, and dealing with people and contractors. So it's just very much a flood in your face of a lot of information. So what you studied at uni, you're now implementing, but also learning so much more. That was a massive challenge. You just have to push through it. You have to have that mindset to be able to just kind of ground yourself and know that you're in that position and doing the work, and this is what you're waiting for, basically. So I think I always looked at it as I wanted to work, and I was torn between still studying and working at the same time. But getting that traineeship was a huge, it was a massive deal for me. Like that was incredible that I was able to get that. I didn't think I would. I did think as a female they wouldn't pick me. That was in the back of my mind, but I did the best I could. That's all anyone can ask for, and that's the challenge that you'll get, is that you may not feel like you deserve it, but you do, because you've worked so hard. So I think there's a lot of challenges through it, but you make the most of it and do your best work. I think that's the best thing.
Thank you. So you're saying traineeship is really essential for starting in the industry?
Essentially, I think that's what I came across. I wanted some sort of experience, and I think because I was a second year undergraduate, I was very limited in what was given to me, or what I was able to apply for. But at the same time, I wanted to still work. I still wanted to study full time, and I needed to get that experience that would fit that, so I could stay on that timeline, on that goal of finishing within the 4 years. So I had specific goals that I wanted, but it's not necessary, but it does help. I guess it's just got to fit your lifestyle at the same time, but also give you the work experience. But you should still be able to study without falling behind, I guess. So it's just more finding what will work for you. And a traineeship is a great opportunity, and there's a lot more available while like you're undergraduate. I think that's something that's ideal for undergraduates, traineeships. It just makes it easier for you to study and work at the same time, and they give you that flexibility within that. So I think it's just an opportunity that just does fit whilst you're still studying.
Oh, thank you very much.
No worries.
Thanks, Soraya. I guess we'll wrap it up with one more question. What are your top 3 pieces of advice that you'd give to students who are in their penultimate or final year, who are trying to get their foot in the door, find that graduate role, and get out there?
First piece of advice is keep going. It's you're only at the very beginning. It may seem like a dread. You're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I was there, but just keep going. And once you get there, it's amazing. It's such a incredible relief and such a proud moment to be able to go, okay, I've studied and I've got an engineering degree. I'm able to now go into the workforce and be able to do it. So I think just keep going and finish the degree. 2, I think you have to know yourself. I know it's probably, everyone's still learning who they are, but know what you want. And if you don't ask, you don't get. I've always looked at that. So if it's something that you're after, do the research, go do it, go after it. Why not? Male or female, it doesn't matter. Just go get it. If that's what you want, just work hard towards it and do your best. That's the main thing as well. And I think the 3rd thing is network. You have to network. I think exposure is vital in order for you to stand out from the crowd. And because social media is out there now, fix up your LinkedIn, fix up your social media. I think that's so important. And there's so much more available online that you can, I think it's more readily available, I would say. You just have to put in the effort and do the research and see what fits into your lifestyle. That's the key thing. And just enjoy it. It's a great industry to be a part of, and love what you do.